Hello.
Oh, hello. Sorry. No, sorry. I've been really rude here. I was editing. Sorry. I found a breath when we were in the execution room, Viv. 2 breaths.
Oh, really?
Quite heavy, yeah. Like a. Oh, hello, everybody. Sorry. I've been very ignorant, haven't I? As you can see, I'm chillaxing today. I'm in my lazy boy chair, and I haven't seen you all for a while, so it's good to be back. And I'm sorry about that. Just life gets in the way of things. But anyway, you got me tonight. You got Viv, and you got the lovely, splendiferous Eric. And what are we talking about tonight, guys?
Our favourite places to investigate. So I thought that would be a great one to chat about tonight. So because we've got no guest, we've been very lazy with getting the guests on, but we will get back to it pretty soon. So bear with us, guys. But I just thought it'd be a great one just to talk about and why. Hello, Ian.
Hi, Ian. Hope you're doing well, bud.
Yeah. Cliff.
All right, Cliff. The Cliffster is here.
You're going to have to
and
forgive
the man
Mr.
himself,
Southey.
William.
No,
Hello, William. You know, one day I'm going to meet that man and his wife. Where's Eric gone?
hello,
He's
Rita. Hi, English.
English. Eric's gone
You'll
into
annoy
the
him now.
darkness.
You'll annoy him. Eric's clearly not paid the electricity bill again.
I know that he's got a really big storm where he is right now. When we were just chatting in the background, we heard that great big massive
they're going through it.
thunder.
Poor Americans going through it at the minute, aren't they, with the old storms?
Oh.
And you need to read. Oh, there he is.
Oh.
I froze somehow.
Viv was just pointing out that it's your storm time, isn't it? You're having storms.
Yep.
But I will, Ian. I will read them, bud. I will. I promise you, I will. I've been very lapsadaisical lately. Oh, get me with posh words. Lapsadaisical.
Hi, Nettie.
Hi, Nettie. Hope you're doing well.
Eric, will you take over doing the comments? I'm feeling very lazy. I just got to say, I want to thank Eric, actually. He has been just lately my right-hand man, and he's been my rock. And I want to just do that publicly for you, Eric, and just say thank you. And I do appreciate what you do for me. And there's a big parcel coming your way. It's sitting on my downstairs table at the moment.
I know. I got to send mine out yet that I promised everybody because I just haven't gotten my paycheck in the last couple of days. So I've been waiting to get that to send it out.
You want to get on that?
Well, it's supposed to come every Tuesday, and it didn't come yesterday, and it didn't come today. So it'll come tomorrow probably or Friday. Don't let
it slide. You know what these people are like. But yeah, I want to second that, Viv, actually, because I think that, and I don't. If I'm sound condescending, I really don't mean to, but I think in a few year maybe or whatever Eric's been with us, he's just done amazing. He's gone from sort of he's gone from
shy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's gone from shy, sort of laid back guy, and he's also gone from somebody who's a host, fellow host, right the way through to sort of taking care of us now. So yeah, really appreciate that. It's good, great stuff, Eric. Thank you.
And Eric, I also want to sort of just add to that a little bit.
Hi, Nicola.
Hi, Nicola. You're not just like a show host, somebody that can step in and pick up the reins. You're also a friend, a very good friend, and I class you as part of our Simply Spooky family and our paranormal family and the Things Network family. So you're more than just a show host to us, and we just wanted to put that across and show you our appreciation, and it doesn't go unnoticed, honestly, Eric.
So we'd like to say to you, like we say in the cults,
we love you.
You are one of us now. One of us.
We love you. We're not too much, about this much, because if we love you too much, it's
one of us.
It's a bit weird because that's what Rita does. Loves you that way. We love you this much.
Rita's pipes up there. So all's good. All is good.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So,
I'm having a fringe problem. Sorry.
Bangs. They call it bangs, don't they now? I never heard that before. It's a recent thing. There you go.
Yeah,
Nicola says she loves you, Eric. So,
Terry says, how comes Viv is the only one not giving the Santa beard look? Ha, 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 ha. That's because I've had a shave.
It's Christmas, isn't it? It's like Christmas. It's been Christmas for the last 3 months around the shops around here, to be honest with you.
Hey, this only started growing out the last few years. I could never grow facial hair at all. And I lost all this hair and started growing this hair.
I know. I'm hoping when one gets long enough, I can do a comb over, but the wrong way.
In other words, you've both got your head on upside down because you've got not much hair up there, but it's all gone down there.
It does look like that. It does look like that.
It's a shame too because I used to have long hair past my shoulders. So
I used to have long hair down my shoulders.
Yeah. We want to see pictures.
None on the top of my head, just down my shoulders.
More. I'm sure.
So, who wants to kick off? Who wants to say where their favourite place is?
Santa Dan.
Eric.
Me, favorite places to investigate. If I were to choose, it would be asylums.
Yes.
Because
why?
Yes.
Not only the mystery, but I know how much violence and torture has happened in them here in America before they closed most of them down. And it's just that scare factor that I like to.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Yes.
Do you not find it's quite a sad place being in those type of areas? Because if you go back in history, these places weren't nice places to be. Some people were put there just because they want other people in society just wanted them to get rid of them.
Yep.
For example, husband has an affair, has a mistress, wants to get rid of the wife, claims her insane, straight in the asylum, forget about her. And there's nothing wrong with her. And then carries on with the mistress. And then while the woman in the asylum, not is she only being treated incredibly poorly, but they're pumping drugs. They were doing things like lobotomies and experimental stuff on people. The way they were being treated, they weren't even treated like humans. They were treated like animals, basically. Yep. And it made anyone's mental health going into these places that was sane before they went in certainly became insane because of the treatment that they got.
I think, and it's going to sound horrible now, and I really don't mean this at all, but I think that the thing that's interesting about asylums is that the people that were put into them were obviously, there was a lot of stuff going on with them. And the way that they were mistreated and the way that they behaved, I think that is going to be imprinted onto that environment. So I think if you're going to get confused spirits and you're going to get activity anywhere, it probably will be in one of them places. Because if you're not in your right frame of mind when you're alive, do you automatically then? I don't think, maybe not. I think you're still not in the right frame of mind. But that's just my perspective. I think that the anguish that's gone on there may make it a little bit more voluble.
But you also, don't forget, here in England, you had people that were arrested that were deemed criminally insane, placed in asylums before they were taken to be executed. So going back in English history, I don't know about American history, could some of these asylums, you're talking about that energy, could that energy actually be at the place of execution rather than the asylum itself?
That could be. I would think it would be,
Me too, Sarah. Me too.
Yeah, me too, Sarah.
I'm glad. I'm glad that we've moved on within the medical profession, and we don't have, we don't call them asylums anymore, but they do still exist. They just have this new fancy name, and they're not being treated the way that. Well, I hope to God that they're not being treated the way that people were treated years ago. but we've moved on from that.
I do sometimes wonder if we've moved on enough, to be honest with you.
I don't think we have.
No, I think that when I look at the perspective, I was going on, I'm not on a rant, but
go on a rant. We don't mind.
When you go and look at the perspective of mental health treatments now, today, compared to the conditions and the way that people are treated is better. But I still don't think that they understand the mind at all. I still think that they're still foraging around and kicking about, looking for reasons. Don't think they really know. And I've seen that in the treatment of people that I've been close to over the years. You know, they're anguished, and years and years later they're still anguished, even with after all these local treatments. I don't know. Somebody mentioned earlier about a mill. I've never done a mill. I would love to do a mill because I think that those are places that are full of sorrow, children working all the hours under the sun, death there, lots and lots of horrible things going on, and I think mills would be a good place. Same as. For me, I think if I was to choose somewhere, it would definitely be a workhouse.
Would it?
Yeah, I think a workhouse. All the sorrow and, people went in there when they're on they put people in their family members when they couldn't afford to look after them, and they were still working them even in old age or with mental problems, and they just kept them in there. And then they, it was a case of, a lot of people never came out of them, and they've got, still these workhouses have still got a lot of cemeteries attached to them, purely and simply for the poor souls that have died in there.
Hi, Bobby.
Bobby.
Hiya, Bobby.
No snow here yet. Thank God. I know they've got snow in Oregon because I've seen the pictures from Mount Hood and round there. And normally this time of year, I'm in Oregon visiting my good friend William. But so this year I planned it right, not being there if they got snow. I hate snow. I hate it.
I want lucky ones. The government definitely don't understand or care about. Yeah, I agree. They're like I do to make people who suffer with chronic mental health. Yeah, I agree, Sarah. I agree.
These workhouses, go back to the workhouses and the asylums, right?
Thanks,
because
Nicola.
I think that there is a connection between the two. And I'm talking about English history. So if you were put into a workhouse, you were considered lucky because at least you had some form of treatment, and it carried more dignity than being put in an asylum. Didn't it?
I don't think it did, Viv. I think that the way that people were treated in workhouses was just as abhorrent as it was in asylums, because they were people that were the disenfranchised. They were people that had no hope, no future. And the thing is, they used to. I mean, we're going on about 150 years ago, which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot. They'd sell children to tradesmen.
It's called slavery, isn't it?
If a lot of chimney sweep wanted a kid to work for them, straight up the workhouse, get the kid out. If anybody wanted a child to work for them, straight up the workhouse, and all that to do was throw a couple of quid to whoever the beadle at the time who was in charge, or what have you, his wife, and that was it. They were off with a kid. So there was so much mistreatment and nastiness, But I think that and that's 150 years ago, which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot.
Not a lot.
Really. I mean,
have you done a workhouse yet? Have you done a workhouse? Have you been in a workhouse?
Do you know what? I've not done one at night, but I did visit to one, and I was lucky enough. I took some equipment with me, like I do, and I was lucky to get an opportunity to sneak off into what was an old cell there. There was nobody around. It was tucked out of the way. I don't think I was even meant to go down there. So I went down there, found this old cell, closed the door. I didn't get anything, but did some EVPs and stuff like that. But no, I haven't done a proper full investigation in one. I'd like to.
Maybe we'll do one soon.
Hey, Robert.
Definitely.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
That's what I was going to ask, Bobby.
That's where they used to put people that were disenfranchised. So people like the poor,
destitute,
people with disabilities, destitute, people who had no money in the Victorian times. We had loads of them here.
Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
So rather than, if they were able to work, rather than living on the streets, you went into this workhouse where you would work for your food and lodgings. And believe me, when I say food, it's not the food that you'd think you were getting.
No.
It was slop, basically, wasn't it?
It was. We also had things like they were called Marshalseas. So if you ran into debt, what the Marshalsea was a prison. So what they would do is they would get you, imprison you until somebody come and paid your debt, or you could earn enough money to pay your debt off. But your family would be living with you in the Marshalsea. So it's a prison for you and your family, basically. In the Victorian era, people worked in the workhouse because people came in from working in the
Yeah. So for me,
believe me, William, I know quite a lot about workhouses.
Yeah. So for me, and I'm going to just mix it up a little bit here. So we've had an asylum, workhouse. Mine has to be one of the strangest places I've investigated, and I've done a few now, but I love, and I'm going to take you outside now. This is not in a particular building itself.
Okay.
My favourite place to investigate are standing stones or circular stone monuments. Now,
energy.
The reason why it's my favourite is because, one, the feeling that I get, I can't explain it. It's weird. It's not a feeling that you can put into words. I suppose the energy is coming from these stones. Secondly, when I've been there, I have been on my own, and it's been quite a solitary thing for me. But to actually put my hands on the stones itself. Now, it doesn't happen with every one, but to actually feel that vibration coming off the stone. I thought that the stone was moving, that I'd actually done something wrong. I mean, the things are massive and they're buried so deep down into the earth that I thought that I'd done something and it was going to fall. And actually, it wasn't. But I was lucky enough to have that kind of interaction with that inanimate object.
Wow.
Right. And thirdly, the amount of ritual, the people of the place, local or people that come to visit or use it as a pilgrimage, I actually picked up on them. I would love to go and do something in more detail late at night, as I've done during the day stuff, the morning stuff, the afternoon stuff, and twilight. But I would love to do more at night. I've not had that opportunity to do that yet. But I think it's not just the stone circles, the standing stones as well. Mustn't forget them, because the standing stones for me is an enigma. Nobody really knows why the one solitary standing stone is put where it's put and why. But they fascinate me to the point where there is more to this than people actually realise. It's more than this is a place to go and worship. It's more than these were the pagans, or it was this, or it was that. I think some of that is also to do with the geology, where it is, why it's placed there, and for what reasons. There's more to it. But yeah, I'm my favourite place of all of it, all of the paranormal, whatever that I've done in my 50 years of being on this planet, is these strange stone circles and standing stones. Always will be. And they go right across the world. It's not just here in the UK.
yeah.
They are right across the world. So no matter where I am in the world, if I see or hear about a standing stone or a stone circle or something along those lines, I need to go and see it.
Wow.
That's me. Didn't know that about me, did you, Dan?
Yeah. No, I like now the places I like, and they're diametrically opposed to each other because, it just is
fertility symbol. I went to a place in Mexico, and I was actually quite astonished to see some of their variations of these stones. Would you go to Eastern? Oh, do you know what? That is on my bucket list to do before I die. Easter Islands.
Oh, you never get me there.
Dum Dum, is it? Cha Cha Dum.
It's full of big eggs.
Yeah, but there's the rest of them is all buried. The rest of the bodies, they reckon there's all under the ground. Massive. Yeah. They're bigger than what the people realise.
Conception, I would think, Robert.
Yeah, I think conception too.
Do you know what? Right, go back to what he's just said about some people say they see spirit leave the body at death.
Mm.
Right, I've heard this so many times,
Mm-hmm.
but actually, what is it that they are seeing? Can it be misconstrued as they see the spirit leave the body or the soul leave their
My
body?
mum used to see it because she was a nurse.
Mm.
So she used to tell us about it. She said, you know, you'd see it was almost like a vapor that would rise from the body.
Or is it? Or do they
then
see do they see them sit up out of their body and leave and go into that different dimension? What is it they're actually
She saw
seeing?
a vapor. She saw a vapor. So it was like a mist that once the body passed, the mist would rise like I suppose like a steam would rise from the body and then just go off. But it's interesting. But me, I like if you ask me, I like things like I like churches and pubs. Now I don't drink.
You know why?
So it's not for that reason. I don't drink. I'm not a church guy, so it's not for that reason. But
No.
the reason I like them is because I think, irrespective of what people say about churches, they're the same as pubs. That particularly in villages and small towns, these were the hubs of social life. So everything that went on in a village or a town happened in and around a pub or a church. So you'd have things like deaths, births, marriages. You know, you'd have people having great times, people having horrible times, sad times, wonderful times. And I think it's just, you've got everything going on there and all of those emotions, which is what annoys me. Because they say, well, what are you going to get around the graveyard and the church? You're not going to get anything around there.
Get
Well,
loud.
what about all that have been around churches? All their life?
We've had testament to that.
Exactly. And exactly. And what about things like, you know, old ministers that have been there, spent their lives there? Congregation, people that were parts of congregations now, people that worked in the churches, people that spent time around them. Yeah.
There is one pub that I say pub, it's not a pub anymore, but there's a place that, Dan, I'm going to have a discussion with you that I'd like us to go investigate, because in history it was a meeting place for a very famous man who wasn't very nice and killed lots and lots and lots of women in the area of East Anglia. So that is one pub that I would love to go.
Is that the ostrich?
No, I'm calling it a pub, but it's not a pub anymore. It's a hotel. But anyway.
I didn't know that.
Impressed there. Well, we did one that was a magistrate's and a place of execution.
Well, we did the Skirrid Inn, didn't we? And that was where Judge Jeffreys used to hold court.
Yeah.
So that was where he used to pass sentence on people. And sentence was invariably it was hanged, because he was a nasty piece of work by all accounts. So yeah, it's interesting. Oh, hang on, what's happened here?
What you done? He's editing. Is your editing
Sorry,
stop?
I'm editing. I'm listening, but I'll keep making sure it's not going to get lost. And then I'm nearly done anyway. I've only got 5 minutes on it.
So, guys, if you want to know what Dan's been editing, he's been doing some edit for Striking Midnight Paranormal. So, if you haven't already, check it out on YouTube and like and subscribe and pass it on. Tell your friends. Help us to grow with Striking Midnight.
It is myself, Viv, Gary, and Young Jay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No.
I find that interesting when people pass. I don't know if anybody's seen people that have passed. You have, Viv, I know that.
I have,
but when you see people that pass, the one thing that strikes me, and it struck me with my dad, is that he was there, but he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, that's not my dad. That's just, it was clearly a shell. It was a shell that was left. And it's like, well, that was, I couldn't equate it in my head.
I suppose it also depends on how they're passing, Dan, because not all deaths are and then they've
No,
gone.
no.
Some of them are quite violent.
Yeah,
That one
some
I
of them
had was a
are away, aren't
violent death. Yeah, that was a violent death. And I suppose people with trauma at the time of passing, like, I don't know, somebody that's just been shot, um, that kind of death. Mm, I find death fascinating.
But still,
Uh,
if you look at the remains, it's still inanimate. It's like the life force. I know the life
It's
force has
gone.
gone from it, but like the everything, their blueprint, everything about them has gone,
Mm.
which I find very interesting.
Everything is vibration. It moves. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
No,
thank you, Sarah.
do you know what?
Exactly, Ian. Exactly, mate.
After my relative had
Oh,
passed away, now
Steve
he
William.
was, because he suffered, he was all skin and bone anyway. But after he passed away and I saw him in the open coffin, it's like, the skin recedes even more. And it was just like a skeleton lying in there. I didn't even recognize him to be a member of my family. It was just really weird seeing it the way that I saw it. But again, he didn't just pass away nicely. He's suffered a long time before, lost all that weight. And then when he passed away and then the body recedes, it looks just, it doesn't look real.
No, it doesn't. It looks skeletal. It was skeletal, isn't it? With just
Yeah.
a thin film of skin on it, really, isn't it?
Yeah. But my brother, on the other hand, who was a bit different, he seemed to balloon out and he passed away. And I'm thinking,
Yes, they do,
what's
don't
going
they?
on here? But that was before the undertakers got their hands on him. He died on an operating table, which is a bit different. But anyway, we digress.
Like that, I've only seen 3 dead bodies. 2 were at the place where we lived in Wausau, and Rita's mom. So
I saw a leg. Oh God, this was awful. I have to tell you because it's a funny
A
story,
leg.
but it's not. I was out in India, and
Oh, yes.
right. So I was out in India with my cousin. I was I was quite young at the time. I was in my early teenage years, and I was out with my cousin just out in the street. And this was in what we then called Bombay, it's now Mumbai. And we were in the main city part of Bombay. And he says, "Come with me." Like, my cousin he was a right rogue. He said, "Come with me, I'll take you to a park." And the streets of India, anyway, smell a bit different. It smells really funny over there. It's not a bad smell. There's this, how can I describe it? You can smell smoke in the air. Now, if somebody has a bonfire from the time you step off the plane, you can smell it. But India has an odor to it. You're going to think I'm mad. But anyway, I was in a part of India, and it smelt quite rank anyway. And he decided he was going to take me to this park, and I thought, yeah, okay then. Anyway, so the park. As I approached the park, I remember it had a lot of green plants in there. There were people with hose pipes watering, and I thought, oh, that's quite nice. It had a steel, like we would see in the parks over here, the steel fences with the spikes on the top. They were quite high. They had all this shrubbery all around, big gates. We walked in, nice concreted pathway with all these shrubs and bushes either side. Great. So I'm thinking there must be something good in this park. With my cousin taking me in there to see this park. What it was and what I didn't know was it was a place where they would put poorer people. They would just throw their bodies in, and it was left for the vultures to do what they do. I got so far into this park with him, and he'd already stopped. I'm busy talking away and still walking, and I saw this leg. And then this leg had maggots. The skin looked like leather. There was stuff coming out of it. It was juicy. It was disgusting. And I saw this leg, and then wanted to throw up. And then I realised what I was smelling and turned around. And my cousin was right the way down the other end of this pathway up by the gates where we'd come in. I just ran back, got to the gate and then threw up because now the smell was so pungent. I'll never forget what that smell was. And he was just standing at the end laughing, thinking it was amazing. And I was like, giving him all the F's and B's and everything. But it's something that I thank him for because I saw this firsthand. I see that and just thought, well, these poor people, maybe they're helping in some way. I don't know. But it was something that lived with me for the rest of my life and prepared me for what was to come with my own family, really.
Lovely, William. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
beautiful.
lovely. It is beautiful. It is beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, that for me, seeing a leg that was nothing to do with my family. I'd also seen the first part of a beheading as well, but and being young and trying to understand that was I didn't actually see the beheading. I saw the build up to and the poor guy that was going to be beheaded. So things in my life are a bit strange. There's some things I can accept where other people can't, but it's because of what I've seen as I'm growing up, and I was shielded for a bit, but I'm quite lucky that I've seen things that happen that other people can't even comprehend. But there you go.
Trust me, it's a smell that you never forget when you smell it.
No. It's awful. It's an awful smell.
I had a job years ago. One of the first jobs I had was clearing out houses where people had died in. So it wasn't nice, but it is. I was only a kid at the time, but it's when you're a kid, you tend not. You know what I mean? It's like what it is, isn't it? But yeah, it's not nice. I didn't do that.
Did you know what the smell was though? Because I didn't realise what that smell was until I actually saw what I was smelling.
The way I describe it is sweet. It was unbelievably sweet. It was like it was sweet, super sweet. The smell and you could taste it. It got into your, I mean, we did one where we went round. The woman had been laying there for a while. She'd gone, but the carpet where she was, obviously, she kind of, I suppose, decomposed into it.
Yeah.
And you could see her shape, where it had kind of burnt away the colours of the carpet and stuff. And that smelled, it smelled quite sweet. It's odd.
Isn't it funny? You don't smell that smell when on investigations looking for spirit. That smell, nobody ever talks about that smell. They talk about the sulphur smell, which I think is their teammates farting.
Yeah.
But they never mention the smell of death. Not really.
No. I've heard people say, it's a disgusting smell there, but never. It's always been about like people not washing or something. Do you know what I mean?
I've witnessed that.
Everybody was kept in the house. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
But why is that, Eric? Why do you think nobody talks about that smell?
Well, you got to, number one, know what that smell is to be able to identify it first. I mean, you don't know what it is if you haven't experienced it. So many people have. Not before a body's been cremated. Some people have seen dead bodies, but not, So it's a different smell between being embalmed and then being just raw,
I've smelt embalming fluid, and that's awful as well.
Yep.
That is an awful thing. Hi, Naomi. I do need to speak to you. I'll message you after this show if that's all right, Naomi.
That place with that fifth corner, that stunk of embalming fluid around there, didn't it?
Yes, it did. It was
That was because that's a lot of funereal stuff, isn't it? You had.
But why is it these investigators and honestly, it's all of them. nobody talks or experiences, because I've investigated houses where people have died,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not come to me. But why is it that they'll talk about smells, but they won't talk about the smell that had to be cleaned up, i.e. what you've cleaned up, Dan, in the past, what I've experienced, what you've experienced, or even the embalming fluid.
I was lucky; I didn't have to clean it. I just had to move the bits that were around, like the furniture and stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody else come in and completely cleaned it.
But nobody, not one investigator that I've seen on TV, which we know is fake anyway, but on TV, the more serious ones, the ones that just do it for hobby, those thrill seekers that go with event companies, no one, absolutely no one is talking about that smell. Or nobody's recognised that smell to be the smell that was left behind. Why is that?
I have no idea.
But like we were saying, plenty of investigators think of beer.
Yeah, they smell anyway and mask it, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Have you ever thought that maybe the spirits have gone, fucking they stink, them bastards? Talking about us lot.
Yeah. Formaldehyde is in
Formaldehyde, yeah.
A lot of places now don't actually use formaldehyde because our freezers, they go straight in the freezer, don't they? And our freezers work, and the conveyor belt, shall we call it, happens very quick.
Yeah, they don't really embalm them as much now, do they? I don't think.
It's expensive. I think it's very expensive.
I've been there, Ian. I've been there. Don't worry.
We've investigated what do you call them? Funeral homes. Places where embalming actually happened, and they stored the bodies, and and still never got the smell of death. I just find that fascinating. Is it because we're not looking for it, do you think?
Maybe.
Or is it that once they passed over, they negate that smell? That smell doesn't go with them. Because obviously it's the spirit rather than the body, isn't it?
Well, you think it'd be over just in the place itself, from being used so many times. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? If spirit is there, I've done it. I've done Egypt.
Yeah.
I've done it. I lived in Cairo for 3 years. That's another story. But anyway, maybe we should put in a request for spirit to bring on that smell to see how many of those true investigators actually pick up on it.
Yeah.
In Egypt, I'll tell you about Egypt quickly, William. I had one of my, not very first, but some of my first experiences with spirit in Egypt was in my uncle's apartment. He had a big luxury apartment in Heliopolis where he lived, and I woke up. Well, I was woken up because I saw this brilliant white light, and it was coming from under the door, and I woke my mum up, and we saw what we actually saw.
The kitchen.
And I didn't know what it was at the time. My mum absolutely freaked out because my mum doesn't see or feel or sense or anything like that. But we witnessed it together. We sat up in bed and saw him walk across the room and disappear in a wall. And what we saw at the time was a Roman centurion in full regalia carrying his helmet under his arm. And he didn't even look at us. We weren't even there. He just walked straight across and disappeared in the wall. We saw his skirts, the pleats, the sandals, everything. And it freaked my mum out. My mum wouldn't go back to sleep after that. And then after he'd passed through, the room went dark again. But yeah, that for me, happening in the home that we were staying in, and seeing it so vividly and so clearly, really sparked an interest in history for me. I mean, I was in one of the most beautiful places. Some people love it, some people hate it. I love Cairo. The pyramids were on our doorstep. I was spoiled, but yeah.
That's a shame, Sarah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I'd like to be embalmed. I'd like to be mummified.
Mhm.
Not wrapped in bandages, but you know when they put all that stuff on the skin and
Mhm.
like that little girl in Palermo in Italy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like
Looks like she's sleeping.
they call them the Incorruptibles, the Catholic Church, don't they?
I don't know, but she looks
Yeah.
like she's sleeping.
You know what I found out they're doing now? They're encasing, you know, that resin. They're encasing bodies in that and using them as tables in people's houses now.
What?
Yep,
Use them. Use them as what?
as tables. Yep.
He's
Make sure-
Botox.
Before you put the tea down, make sure you put a coaster on me, uncle.
Yep. Grizzly had that on his show the other day.
Everybody,
doing that.
polish me mum up, will you?
God.
The princess in the glass case, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
£1
little,
yeah.
little
Yeah.
girl. Yeah, apparently she looks beautiful. Yeah.
There's two, isn't there? There's a kid in, I think he's an Argentinian kid. They've actually saved him now. He's when he was alive, he like did everything for everybody. Like he was amazing. Apparently, he was such a sweet soul, and they canonized him, beatified him because he didn't corrupt. His body's not corrupted, and when you look at him, he looks exactly the same. He died when he was sort of 17, 18. But you look at him now, and he looks exactly the same as the day he passed.
Well, so I was watching something on telly years ago, and this is in America, so it's your fault, Eric.
Okay.
And people were being, when they die, they were being embalmed and whatever, but put in certain poses.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy, he was a part of a gang, but they had him sat at a table as though he was playing cards, and they put a cigarette in his mouth. And the family were all sitting round and they're all playing cards with him. Like, and I just thought, this is some of the weirdest shit that I've actually seen. But they buried him in that pose, playing cards. It's like, what
I
the
remember
fuck?
watching a thing in America years ago with Jonathan Ross. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. He went to drive for families that were busy. This was drive through funeral parlour. So you drive your car in, you park up. There's like a room there with a glass window, and you can see your relatives. Say goodbye and drive off.
Crikey. I don't know. But I've seen people being sat on motorbikes over there and being buried on their motorbike.
Yep.
And I thought that was weird because what people are not realising is that they don't just sit up normally, so they're breaking bones to get them in that position and then sticking a rod through them like they're a puppet.
I think that's cool. People
Ben.
bury their cars and everything out there, aren't they?
Yep. There's been a couple that have been buried in cars.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool, actually.
Mm.
And there was an actress that they stood up, they done all her hair and makeup, put her in this really glitzy, lovely, beautiful dress. And as you walk in, she's standing there at her own funeral. It's like, what? But that was some famous, eccentric actress over there that, oh God, really?
Haven't they? People are weird. No matter where in the world they come from, people are weird.
Our paranormal community is weird. And on the whole, I embrace weird, but there is some kind of weird, really, you need a slap for doing that, you know?
Oh. I saw a video the other day and it absolutely disgusted me. And it was a particular paranormal team that were over here. And they hadn't broken in, I don't think, but they got into this church underneath it. So it was the crypt area that they got.
Mm.
And some of these crypts, I think they were doing building work under this church. And what they'd done is they'd taken either the crypts had collapsed, some of them, or the builders had taken the lid off, as it were. So you could see straight the coffins are kind of rotted. So you could see the skeletal remains in there. So these are like human remains there. And then you've got this investigator, who went in there, videoed it all, and then picked the skulls up and stuff, and was touching them around and banging them and doing all sorts of them. And I thought,
Why?
because they're nasty bastards. And to me, I think, and if somebody would do that, I think somebody who does that's capable of doing anything.
Mm.
You know, if that level of disrespect, you're not a decent person.
No, you're not.
You know, you're not a decent person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weren't
I've go on, Eric.
weren't pharaohs buried with like their slaves and like everything?
Some, not all.
Okay.
Contrary to belief, it depended on the pharaoh.
Okay.
There were some pharaohs that actually had their handmaidens, and they were killed and mummified
Okay.
just before they went in. So yeah, it's if you were chosen, or it was like a lottery as well, who was going to go in with you, because they didn't just take anyone. There was one that did have handmaidens were, and then they were quickly
I
mummified
might be
and went
wrong.
in.
Well, I might be
Yeah.
what you tell me that you know more about it than I do, Viv. I might be way off the mark and wrong, and I might have got this from TV rather than reality. But didn't they used to didn't like have eunuchs and stuff, didn't they? And then they used to have them. They volunteered to be buried with their kings, wouldn't they? Because it was an honour.
Some it depended on the political, what was going on politically at the time, because some didn't, some did, some had no choice. I know about the handmaidens that were sacrificed and went in, some slaves, but they didn't go in with the actual pharaoh itself. So pharaoh was in a separate chamber.
They were different
these
chambers. Yeah.
the different chambers. But no, slaves were like, if you like, a form of currency over there. The more slaves you had, the richer you were, the bigger your house was. Some of them did, some of them didn't. But it was all very political as well. So some were serving under this pharaoh, but when this new one was coming in, or the uprising of the new one, they would jump ship and be with the new one anyway. So
You see what Ian's put?
bless her cottons. Well, there's a lot of Scottish things coming up to being sent to Eric.
Oh, what are you
And
getting?
Eric is going to experience, I hope they arrive in one piece, but he is going to experience a Tunnock tea cake.
Oh, wow. Cool.
They're
Doesn't
amazing.
know what a Tunnock tea cake is.
No, I do not.
He's going to get a box of Tunnock tea cakes being sent over to him. So I hope you're going to get them before Christmas.
I've got my arm brew here.
No.
I'm taking a leaf out of Lois's book.
Nah.
Watter.
Watter. I do love arm
Watter.
brew. Arm brew. Made with girders. Was it made in Scotland from girders?
Tweets.
Sweet.
Tweets.
Oh, they're lovely.
So what else? What other favourite places would you like to investigate, Eric?
Oh, wow. Castles, old mansions, bunkers. I'm going to be doing all that kind of stuff. Anything I can get into.
Hey, we've got a bunker that we haven't even seen ourselves. Maybe we should go and suss it out and take Eric with us.
They are. They're lovely. Which
Maybe
one is it?
we should.
One of it.
That one to do with the Churchill war rooms that I was talking to
Oh,
you about.
yeah.
That secret one.
That would be good.
Or maybe we should do it with Eric as a very first time thing with him.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be good.
This is so secret. We can't put it on air. We can't talk about it on air. But it's an amazing place.
Don't know about it.
Nah.
What?
So secret, even we don't know about it.
No, I haven't told him. But no, we're quite lucky over here though. We have some of the most amazing places to investigate, not just England, but all over Europe.
Yep.
Europe is amazing. I mean, Dan lived out there for a while. I went and visited this year, but I was in, where was I, Dan? Transylvania.
Romania, where I used to live.
Yeah, and Bucharest. Bucharest itself is a very old place.
Brother, take it easy, bud.
See you later, Ian. But Bucharest as well, it absolutely amazed me.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be like a city that's just like any other place, but it wasn't. It was full of history.
Right.
Absolutely blew me away. And then in Transylvania itself, and seeing the castles, some of their houses, oh my FG. Seriously. Beautiful. France, our neighbours, they've got some of their buildings that still stand. Like there's a Bastille that still stands in just outside of Paris. Versailles still standing. That great big beautiful. That's one place I'd love to go and visit.
Hey, Wayne.
Hi, Wayne.
Hello, young Wayne Sedenser.
Hello. Death to all black metal. Oh, sorry.
Nearly bought a house out there years ago when I was out there.
Mm.
I've been there, but I've not done it, Terry. But yeah, I bet it's amazing to do that place.
That's in England?
It's
Channel
Jersey.
Islands.
It's an island off the coast.
Okay.
More near France than it is us, really. But yeah. But I forgot what I was saying now. What was I saying? No, John.
I was looking. I was watching some Nazi megastructures and saw on the Channel Islands that there was a great big massive. It was like a tower that the Nazis built when they had the island or something. And anyway, a telecommunications company had bought this tower and store stuff in there now. And it's just amazing what they've done with these structures. They've not knocked them down. They've actually turned them into something else and made use of it, which I think is absolutely fascinating.
Jersey was the only bit of British soil that the German army actually occupied during World War II.
Really?
Spooky Wayne's not my brother, you know. I'm Spooky Viv. There's only one and only Spooky. Yeah, it's not spooky at all.
Spooky Dokies.
His name is when he does his bleach bit. He looks like oh God, what's that? Singer?
Oh, he looks like in a midnight hour. What's his name? Isn't it?
Billy Idol.
Billy Idol.
Billy Idol.
Very fucking idle.
Poor Wayne. He's not.
No, I'm only joking.
He's far from idle.
I'm only joking. He's a busy boy. He's a busy bee. Billy Idol, that's it, Wayne.
I thought he was going to start singing then.
He's a busy bee.
So what other places do you like? What about you, Dan? Your favourite places to investigate?
Do you know what? My favourite places... My favourite place, I really love it, is the village.
Really?
I've always said it. I love the village. It's just, I think it's the women that work there, the girls that work there. I just enjoy it. And that house, that farmhouse, I think is a goldmine of paranormal stuff. But, you know.
Terry, you are funny.
I think there's a lot more going on there than it gives up its information bit by bit. And I think the more time you spend there, probably it seems, the more they reveal. And I just like it because I don't think there's ever been a time, you know what I'm like with activity and people misinterpreting what's paranormal and what isn't. But that place definitely gives up some stuff that is, I would think without a doubt, paranormal. Certainly, at the very least, unexplainable. And that's what I like it.
One of my favourite places that I've investigated, and I've done it sometimes twice and 3 times a year for a number of years, and it's never failed. It's always given something. Was the Galleries of Justice.
Good.
Now, the Galleries of Justice, for those that don't know what it is, was a courthouse and a place of imprisonment for many years and a place of execution. And
That's amazing.
the Galleries of Justice, in the main courtroom, there was a very, very large table. Now, if you look at this table very closely, because they put books on it to make it look more like the courtroom now that you see today. But if you look very closely, it's the original table that they also used as a mortuary slab. So they did dissections on this table.
Wow.
And people would sit around, like the medics would sit around and look, and there'll be someone doing their thing, and there'll be the dissection that was happening. And sometimes the dissection would be the people that were hung there straight on that table for dissection to help medical science.
Yeah.
But the Galleries of Justice, and some people are not aware of this, it is actually a museum. So you go and you can walk around, and there's a museum. There's different levels to the Galleries of Justice, and they have debtor's cells. Underneath the debtor's cell is an oubliette, where people did die and were forgotten about in this oubliette. It's full of history, this place. But in the debtor's cell, and if people, for the sake of people watching in America that doesn't know what a debtor's cell is, if you owed money, you couldn't repay, your loans and things like that, you would serve a time in prison, and you would be treated as a prisoner until you were able to repay back your debts.
Good.
Now, the debtor cell doesn't sound like anything too bad, but it's right over an oubliette. And members of the public, quite recently, were in the Galleries of Justice, and they were looking into the debtor's cells. And it's got its own separate place behind a forecourt where they would do hangings and things. Anyway, and a lady was there with her 2 young children. And while looking into a debtor's cell that you can't go into, it's all cordoned off and it's got dummies in there depicting what would happen in a debtor's cell, she was pushed very violently by unseen hands.
Wow.
Now, there is a debtor's cell right next door to that you can go into. And I believe her children were actually in that cell at the time of her being pushed while she was looking at the dummy sitting in the other debtor's cell. And it frightened her that much that she took her kids, ran upstairs and made very big complaints. The fact that she had 2 small children with her and this actually happened was quite dangerous. And I don't know what became of that after that, but I got to hear about her experience with her children. Her children didn't experience it. They experienced the aftermath. But this debtor's cell is quite a dangerous place to go and investigate, because as investigators, I have been witness and have experienced not just small stones being thrown by unseen hands, but rocks. Having that feeling where something comes right up to you, right in your face, and there's nothing there. And this is not the mediumistic Viv. This is Viv, just plain old boring, silly bollocks Viv, investigating. Dan's had experiences in the Galleries of Justice, but I've had some quite frightening places. So this is one of my favourite places to investigate because it's got many levels of history. It actually sits on lots of levels as well, and it goes back further than people realise. Those caves underneath are mega old.
No.
So yeah, I do like that one.
I see that.
Oh, Ramsey Abbey. Yeah, I know Ramsey Abbey.
Yeah, there's loads of places. I mean, if I had the money, I'd like to. Some of them pricing themselves out of the market now, aren't they? That's the problem. And some of them are just giving up the ghost, if you pardon the pun, and not opening up to paranormal investigators anymore, which is sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few places I'd like to investigate. I mean, we did an investigation the other day, Halloween investigation with me, Viv, and Gary, and we did it at the Reevesby Abbey, and I was a bit disappointed, to be honest with you, because even though I was expecting, and it's nothing to do with the people who run it. The people who run it were amazing, but I thought that we would get access to the actual abbey itself, but you only get access to a small portion of the cellar area with the stuff, which is good because there's probably more life down there than there was above over the years. But it would have been nice to get into the property. But yeah, I'd like to do more places like that. But I would like to have more
Dan,
access.
let's talk to the owners and let's get back there, just the three of us, on a daytime and see the rest that we weren't allowed to see, because I think that can happen.
Yeah,
I think it can because I'm open to other projects.
Oh yes.
So I think that if you wave the right money on them and you have the right amount of people, and they would enable you and allow you to go. Well, I hope so, but we'll see. We'll see. But there are a few places like that. I want to do. I'm trying to think of the name of the bloody house now. My great. Who?
Applehampton. I want to see that masturbating monkey.
Oh yeah. Get knob out. Yeah.
good.
What's the most bizarre thing you've seen in your paranormal career? I saw a wanking monkey.
Yeah. Oh, that really frightened me. I didn't know
He
whether
threw his paranormal shit at them.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's lots. I mean, if I had the money, I'd like to do everywhere. If I had the money, and if I won the lottery, that'd be it. Me and you'd be we'd be all over the world, Viv. We'd be getting private jets all over the world. I'm sorry, I don't care about the footprint.
I've just been thinking. I'm going to ask. This is for all of us, and I'm going to go last.
Mm.
I'm going to ask you the same question, but two different stances. What is the most weirdest paranormal phenomena you have seen? And what is the most weirdest thing you've seen on a paranormal investigation, meaning the living? Right, so you've got a couple of minutes to think about it.
I know what I've seen, but I didn't mention it.
No, come on.
All right.
I think we have to share this because we're all seasoned investigators. We've seen a few things in our time, in our life, in our I'm going to call it a career as a paranormal investigator. Come on, so let's have this discussion. Dan, you go first.
I saw a couple of investigators that were friendly with each other, but not a bit too friendly, touching each other up around the one of them was touching the other up around the genitalia area on an investigation. They thought it was dark enough and I couldn't see. And like, fucking hell, what they did? She's giving him one off the wrist. And then
did you have it on your infrared camera? Did you see it through your camera?
No, she was knocking him out and knocking one out for him, and it was like bloody.
I know you're talking about as well.
You know I'm talking about. You were there that night. So I saw that, and Viv was bloody far away because I was. I'm trying to be nonchalant. Oh, really? She's giving him one. So there's that. And what was the other question, Viv?
The weirdest paranormal phenomena.
It was funny. It was very, very funny, but it was also freaking annoying. It was. I'd bought. They'd only just come out on the market, and I bought. I spent a lot of money on it at the time. They were now people don't really use them anymore. But I had an EM pump. So you know the idea. People know the idea. For those that don't know the idea of an EM pump, it's meant to pump out electromagnetic energy so that the spirit's going to utilize that energy, and then it gives them energy to do things, manipulate, move things, hopefully materialize. Anyway, that's the idea behind it. And I'd got this pump, and it was my pride and joy. And we did the weirdest pub. They pulled the pub down there, and it was in Epping. And you know what, Viv, you know what Epping's like. There's lots of weird and wonderful. Terry will know what Epping's like. lots of weird and wonderful stuff that's gone on there over the years, over the centuries, and it's very haunted and it's very weird. But we did this pub, and we got into this pub, and I thought, I've got this bit of equipment. I'm going to set this bit of equipment up. So I got this bit of equipment. It's pitch dark. I had a torch on, and I said to the spirit, like, "Look, this, please use this. This is an electromagnetic thing. You can get your energy off of this. This will enable you to get close to it. You can build up your energy, and it will allow you to hopefully manifest or move something. Please don't move the pump, because the pump cost me a lot of money, and I don't want it damaged, right?"
Yeah.
So anyway, I've got this pump going, and I put it on this chair, and we leveled it out, made sure there was nothing, this pump wouldn't vibrate off the chair, made sure that it was. So anyway, we're going, I'm asking questions, and I said, if you want to use the energy, please get the energy from that. And this spirit, well, it must have been a spirit, and my mate tapped me on my leg, and he pointed, and right next to me, when I looked down, this pump lifted. You could see it physically lift up, and I thought, okay. But I'm thinking, yeah, that's amazing. That's unbelievable. But please don't throw it. And then threw it at a fucking bar and smashed it to bits. All you could hear me on the audio was going, "You fucking piece of work! I told you not."
Oh, dear.
No, you. Oh, that's it. Yeah, you really pissed me off now. I didn't want you to do that. Cost me £100. That. But yeah, that was that. But you know what? I'm ever so thankful for it though. Yeah. So I bet whoever was there was thinking, him or her was thinking, "Oh, okay, I'll show you exactly what I can do with that."
Yeah.
But it was amazing, and it's the sort of thing you do if you were in spirit, isn't it? Oh yeah, I'm going to wind him up.
Smash his bit of equipment up, yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. But I was glad. I was appreciative of it, really, because it was an amazing piece of phenomena. But yes, what about you,
Eric?
Me, the weirdest thing I've ever experienced was seeing myself down the hallway when I was 8.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
That is weird.
It's weird. What was the other question?
Did it notice you?
No, I looked right at the back of its head. It looked my blonde hair, my size. Well, I know what it was now because somebody explained it to me, but
doppelganger.
No, apparently it was a protected spirit.
Oh. But it didn't look at you or acknowledge you or
it didn't acknowledge me. It just doubled me, clothes, hair, size, age. In fact, I know my dad saw it because he said, "Eric, get back into bed." So I was supposed to be taking a nap.
That's odd, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is odd.
That wasn't
somebody else.
Wow. That's impressive.
That is impressive.
That's more impressive than your lifting.
Yeah. I'll put my hands up to that. That's super impressive.
Have you seen anything weird, like not paranormal related, like just anything funny?
Oh, no, not really. Not, but not anything more than what normal people do that's just weird,
Yeah. I'm going to tell you mine. You're going to laugh. I'm going to do the funny one first. The people one. So I was involved with a TV production company many, many moons ago. And they were shooting this pilot show ready to go out for mainstream TV. The deals were done. They were just doing the filming and getting members of the public involved as they did. And so I went to this place called Goodrich Castle. And we had a day of filming with the public. And it was great, I got to experience that. But then the producers had decided, we need you to go back, just the team, and we need more footage. Why? And we need more footage. So we want you to go back and we want you to go under the fence, take the camera work with you. We want you and you to go back. And I thought, when they asked me, I thought, okay, but if I get caught, what will happen? No, it'll be fine. You won't get caught. Just go under the fence. Anyway, so we've gone to this place. The main lead presenter, the cameraman, me, another cameraman, another medium. And what we did is we walked up to the main gate and we went underneath it. And we got in. We did our filming. We had experiences in there. It was great. The other medium and her team left prior to me. I stayed behind, did a bit more work with them. And we were the last to leave the property. So I was there with my cameraman, who was on my team, if you like. And we were the last two to go under the fence and leave. And as we were walking down the long walkway back to the car park, and it was a gravel walkway, he was just as on edge as I was. I mean, I'm an edgy person anyway. Like if something happens that's a bit sort of spontaneous, I shit myself. I won't lie to you. That's who I am. So there's me and him were the last two. Now this man is military trained. He's or was at the time still working with the Royal Marines and serving our Queen and country. And I would have thought that I would have felt safe with him. Oh my God, was I wrong? He was more jumpy than Parker is. He's worse than Parker. And this bloke's had bombs thrown at him and mortars, and he's been bitten by spiders and all sorts of things. You know, supposed to be this big tough guy. So anyway, there's me and him at the back. Everyone's way, way, way in front of us. And we're talking. And as we're talking, I'm hearing crunch, 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 crunch behind us, like somebody's walking behind us. So I turn to look, obviously. Oh, we've been caught breaking into this castle. Nobody there. So I've ignored it and carried on talking to this cameraman. I'm not going to name him. He knows who he is. And you hear crunch, crunch, more crunching. Like there's a few of them behind us now. So I turn around and look. Nobody there. And then I'm listening to this cameraman talking a bit more. And I went, shh, listen. And there was even more crunch, crunch, crunch behind us. Like more people had joined them. So it was like a little bit of an army behind us, walking up towards us in a hurry. I turned around, looked, and thought, oh, shit. So I started running. And trust me, I don't run fast. I'm very unhealthy and out of shape. But anyway, I started running. I just turned my face, looked to where I wanted to go to, and just legged it. Then he started running. And he had trouble catching up with me. But the thing was, we passed the people that had left way in front of us. And they were looking at us to say, what's wrong? What's wrong? I didn't even answer them. I just straight to the car. He did exactly the same. Me and him ended up in the car park before anybody else. And that is a long walk from the castle itself to the car park. And I was out of breath, trying to catch my breath. He caught up with me. He's trying to catch his breath. And he said, Vivian, tell me why you legged it like that. And I'd said to him, 1 or 2 footsteps behind us I could deal with. But when there's an army behind us, I said, I can't cope with that.
Yeah.
I was out of there. And he said, I'm glad you said that. He said, I heard those marching feet behind us. And I didn't want to say anything to you because I didn't want to frighten you. I went to him, you bollocks. I said, you were just more as frightened as what I was. I said, it's me and it's cute. Anyway, anything that happened that night, he was the first one out of the door. He was the one that was screaming, and he was the funniest thing. But what I thought was the weirdest thing, when I think back, was I had a spiritual army chase me off a property that I should never have been on in the first place. So that is my weird thing, being chased away by a spiritual army. And he was there to witness that as well. The other thing,
I can't read that. Sorry, I'm on a phone. Sorry, guys.
weirdest paranormal thing I've seen is a pair of Roman legs in the basement of Colchester Castle, seen also by 2 others.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So the funniest thing that I've seen with people, again,
if you'd listened to me, it would have been wanking paranormal investigators.
Well, this is not quite wanking. This is full on sexual intercourse. So
not an investigation.
Yeah, I run now this is funny, like I'll tell you. Right, so I ran a team, and sometimes we'd take members of the public out with us, and we hired this place, and this woman used to come out with us fairly regularly, and she'd meet up with her friend. We thought nothing more of it until the 2 of them disappeared. And so a couple of us decided, because they didn't tell us they were leaving or anything, because the place was a pretty dodgy place that we were in. I'm not going to say where we were. Decided that we would leave the investigation and try and find them, make sure that they were okay. And I opened a cupboard door, and they were in there, fully at it. Both of them, like, she had her drawers round her ankles, and so were his. And I saw his squidgy arse, as he was really banging her. And I thought, oh, crikey. I said, not being rude, and sorry to disturb you, but can you get yourself together and just come outside? Anyway, I met them outside, and they were very apologetic and quite embarrassed that they got caught. And they decided that they were going to leave. And I said, well, I think it's best you do, and this won't go any further. Let's keep this quiet. And she said, look, will I be able to come on further investigations with you? And I said, yes. I said, but really, this sort of behaviour you need to sort of keep for afterwards. Don't do it. Don't do it during the investigation. Yeah, they said. Years later, fast forward a few years later, I found this woman that works for another recruitment agency in Cambridge, quite a famous recruitment agency in Cambridge. And I found out that this guy that she was meeting on our investigations wasn't just her friend. She was having an illicit love affair with this guy, both of them married to other people. So they were using ghost hunting as a rouge for having their illicit love affair. Yeah, exactly, Sarah. But I was so embarrassed to walk into this recruitment agency all these years later, and there she was sitting there, and all that could go through my head was, I know what you do.
Did you say I didn't recognise you with your clothes on?
I didn't know. Oh my God, though. How embarrassing to find 2 people like that, giving it a...
Yeah, I've never
They weren't...
Well,
she wasn't squealing, she wasn't making noises, but the thump, 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 thump. I heard that. I thought, what the hell is that? And it was them 2 in the cupboard.
Was it 2 bangs for yes?
Yeah.
And one bang for
no. But really, that was the weirdest thing. You're like, oh God, using that to just do, oh,
mad, isn't it?
Strange behaviour.
It is mad.
That's the weirdest thing I've seen, is people using that as an excuse to have a love affair. Sad, really, but...
Yeah. Go get a hotel room. Jeez.
Well, you would think so, wouldn't you?
Cost you just the same amount of money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you're not going to get caught. Well, you're not going to get caught by the people running the event. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some strange people in the world. Strange
There's
people.
been some odd people in this field over the years, isn't there? I really, I was thinking the other day, like you try and remember, like, just things come back to you and you think, yeah, she was very odd, or he wasn't completely right. And it's like it's been like a revolving door. They come and go, don't they?
Dan, I think the hobby is becoming more of a seedy playground for people. When I think back to when we started doing it to what it is today, it's become a seedy playground. The amount of paedophiles that have been arrested and gone to prison.
Yeah,
The
and
amount of
people buggering about with remains.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
There's been 3 of them that I've noticed. One was the guy that was, God rest his soul, the fellow that was hanging.
Yeah.
That one. Another one where a skull was found, and then this guy that I saw the other day buggering about with bodies in the crypt also have been done before for bones, placing bones on.
Terry, that would bother me because, and I'll tell you for why. Like in my little group, there's more men than women, but what bothers me is it's become a sexual playground for the deviants as well.
Yeah,
Have you not noticed that? I mean, we mentioned a couple just now. Okay, mine was a couple that were doing what they were doing, and yours were, 2 people doing things in plain sight of everyone.
one
To
of them
me,
was
that
married.
this is all deviant behaviour, and I've heard of other people. There was a guy that would join. He'd want to go out with this particular team because it was all women, and he was like, and again, another one that was touchy feely with people. This is wrong. Do you know what? I won't go out with a team of people if I don't know and don't trust them, and I don't have somebody there with me, like
Yeah,
my
you can't.
Andy. I can't do it.
No.
I can't do it. And I won't put myself in that position. But there are girls that don't think along those lines, that don't think about their safety, that don't think that this is normal behaviour. And if I was to join a team where there was, well, I'd like an even number.
Terrifying.
You should do, Terry. But no, unless there's an even number now, I'm definitely
so do I.
questioning it. I'd have punched him on the nose. Do you know what? I'm one of these people where you get one go with me, do it again, and I'll not just punch you on the nose. I'll knock you the F out, and I'm making a scene about it.
I've seen a few people come to this field as well recently with that. They clearly got anger issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clearly got anger issues, and I think that what's happened, and I'm not casting aspersions on anybody, because I look at a lot of, or I have looked at a lot of urban explorers online, and I enjoy watching urban explorers when I go through the history of places and stuff like that. I really do enjoy it, but I've noticed that obviously that's a lot of them are now bleeding into ghost hunting, and I think what they're bringing with them is they're more after subscribers and likes than they are. Then they turn that into an entertainment, trying to turn the paranormal into an entertainment field as well, which is why all of these lies and all of this fakery bollocks has bled into it.
Yep.
And I think it's been brought in by not all of them, but a certain element is coming through them, is coming other ways. But some of them have got serious anger issues.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, that's not welcome. You can't behave like that. And
do you think it's
the disrespect from?
Do you think it's the
them.
same? Do you think it's the same with podcasters, though, Dan? Do you think, like with this podcasting thing and doing the lives, do you think that even some of the podcasters are being pulled into it, or some of the podcasters are inciting it? I remember last year or the year before, there was a podcast that would incite nothing but pure hate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's a couple of people I followed online. I like looking at debunking channels as well. I think they're interesting. And overall, there aren't that many, but overall, they're quite good and they're quite interested in that. But then I've also seen an element from some of them that could be described as stoking the fire. Yeah.
Exactly, Wayne. Exactly, Wayne. But there's also this thing that poking the fire, and using the podcasting platform to say, well, actually, you're warning people and you're trying to, at the end of the day, these people are grown-ass hairy people that can make decisions for themselves. If you want to spend your money a certain way on watching or subscribing to this or watching that. That's their own prerogative. And you should not feel any way saddened or guilty because you decide to put your money into this to watch that. That's your prerogative.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel that some of these hate groups and witch hunts happened
Oh yeah,
because of,
and that's what I'm
I'm
saying
not going
about
to mention,
that's what I'm saying about these some of these podcasters that are going out there and trying to debunk, which is fine. I haven't got a problem with that. In fact, I like
yeah,
it because it
yeah,
shows a lot of these teams up for what they are. But
Mm-hmm.
then you'll see they go into a tirade of becoming personal, and you
yes,
think that's where you draw the line. But the thing is, they say that they're arbiters of the paranormal, so they set themselves up as this kind of judge and jury. And then they try and take the moral high ground, and you think, well, how dare you take the moral high ground? Because you're using it as a way of, I don't know, beating out your own frustrations.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
exactly.
And I've noticed a few of them are kind of armchair investigators as well, armchair investigators. So they don't actually go out in the field. But I do enjoy them for what they do, a lot of them. I mean, there are quite a few of them. There's a couple of Welsh guys I like. I enjoy watching them. And there's a couple of, there's an English guy and an American guy, a couple of American guys who I like.
Yeah.
But there are some out there that are, you think you're just stirring the pot here, you know.
I mean, for me personally, I just can't get out of my head this witch hunt that happened within the paranormal community that I see and I'm involved in. There was a witch hunt that happened for a certain team and a certain person that initiated this witch hunt initiated within a Facebook group. Then it came onto a podcast, and this guy does have some issues, does have some problems, and then tried to take his own life. Not once, not twice. There was a number of times. And this was initiated because of what people were saying.
Mm-hmm.
They were turning up at his ghost hunts. You know, whatever he does, it's down to him. Whether you choose to watch him or not, it's down to the individuals that want to part their money. Whether you like him or not, it's neither here nor there. But to gather and create a mass rising against someone and make them feel like that. I mean, how can these people live with themselves? It's okay not to like someone. It's okay not to want to watch them. But it's not okay to encourage people to turn up and to treat him or his team like that. You know, if you don't like them, fine, stay away. Don't watch him.
And
don't
that's
give
exactly
him
right.
don't give them that sense of, oh, he's got more people watching him now because you're talking about it. Don't talk about him. Don't watch him.
What I find particularly annoying with that is that they're the same people that slag him off, the people that will put on Facebook, oh, mental health day, be aware of mental health. And it's like you find fucks about it because you're out there bullying people. Yeah. You know, it's just so frustrating. And either they're stupid and they can't see it, or they're just nasty and stupid. I don't know. You've got to take your pick from that. I don't know.
I've actually, and I will talk about my situation that happened recently. I say recently, not that recently, but it has happened in recent times, where I was involved with a couple and it didn't work out for lots of reasons, right? I'm not going to go into those reasons because it's not about what happened. It was about the aftermath. I carried on doing what I do. They do what they do. I do what I do. Not a problem. I thought, until I found out that my name kept coming out of this individual's mouth.
Don't worry about them.
Then it became a problem. Okay, so the more this and I heard little bits, and then I snapped, and I had a spat, if you like, and they realised that I'm on lots of different platforms. I am known in the field, and I'm also known in the USA. So and I hope to God that they humbly step back and they get on with their thing now, and I get on with my thing now. But you know, act like adults. That is my point. act like an adult. You're not that important to me that I need to keep talking about you. You know, is it that you're jealous? Is that why you need to keep talking about you? I don't know. I'm just surmising. I don't know. I'm not saying that's the situation, but, you know,
some people just
grow
live for
up.
drama.
Yeah, well, it's just like, grow up. I'm not interested.
No,
you know?
you get an age, you can't be asked with all that shit. You just want to get through your life, don't you, without having that crap thrown at you.
Do you know what? I don't care. Like, these people, do what you want. I really don't care.
No.
Spot on, Wayne. Spot on.
That's why, Wayne, you need to do what we do. Well, you do. You're the same as us. There's a small group of us, isn't there, that work with each other and are happy to work alongside each other.
Yeah.
Because we've got to the point where we
don't have to agree. We don't have to agree with each other all the time, you know. No. Me and Dan, we row like cat and dog, honestly. Don't we?
But that's the thing, isn't it? But
I'm surprised he ain't hit me yet, but...
I've always said to people that the thing is that I've got an opinion, but I don't mean I'm right. I might be completely wrong, but I've got an opinion, and the same as somebody else. They've got an opinion. They might be right. They might be wrong. I don't know. But you don't fall out over it or get bitter over it because it's pointless.
You know, we go. This is no lie. This is no lie. We'd get lost in the car. He's got his phone doing the sat nav thing. He'll take the wrong turning because he's too busy. Yeah. Then he'll fucking blame me, and then it will take us forever to get there because it's taken us. And then he'll blame me, and I'm like, don't use that sound. No, it's honestly, Viv. No, it's your fault. You could have told me it was there.
Sat nav. Who's that? Hello, Paul.
Hello, Paul. How you doing?
Yeah, no, totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you. Can't be bothered with myself. It's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. But yeah, that's where we are.
We still do what we still do. And me and Dan, we enjoy it. Sometimes we hate it, but we enjoy it because we have...
Everybody gets to the point where you fucking know what, we're just going to be doing this. Like,
well, we get into that age now.
Like reasonably happy.
We're getting to that age now where it's like, really? Do I need to be doing this at this age? We've had this discussion so many times. He's retired. How many times you've retired this year?
Oh, every other investigation.
I'm not doing it anymore. These people piss me off.
I don't want to go out, but then Hazel gets to the point and says to me, oh, I'm sick of you fucking moping around the house. Get your ass out investigating. You're never happy unless you're investigating. And I go, yeah, all right then. And then me and trundle off and do another investigation. I mean, there have been a couple of times where I thought, oh, I really can't be doing this. But then I've been knackered, and one weekend we did Viv with that, you know. It was like we were shattered. Viv hadn't had sleep or anything.
We've had some funny ones though. Some scary ones off the cuff. Some real funny ones. Some funs are like, oh, I really like that. We'll go back again. But we've been too scared to go back.
Or we get to the point where we can't be asked because it's cold. Yeah, let's go and do that. A bit cold, isn't it?
It's raining tonight. I will do it next week.
But we are determined next year. We said we're going to get the banner and run with it.
Working with Viv Dan. No, he loves it. Honestly, we get so much. If it's just me and Dan.
I'm going to make you take me to all the scary places when I get there, so.
Seriously.
Oh, yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
If it's just me and Dan, shit happens. When we add a third person in the mix, we get little bits, 1 or 2 bits, but nothing major. But it's really funny, and I don't know whether it's mine and Dan's energy that
I think it must be, you know, because when I was doing this video here and reviewing the Shepton Mallet prison, it's just you and me, but there's stuff happening on it, EVPs and stuff. And there's one weird bit. I'm not going to tell people. If you want to see it, go on to Striking Midnight Paranormal. That's me and Viv's channel, and you'll see us on there.
Do you know what,
Unity
Cliff?
group.
Do you know what, Cliff? Get in contact with Ross Allison.
Get in contact. Can't believe you said
Let
that.
me read this. Let me read this again.
No, I can't believe you said that, Viv. Get in contact. Contact.
Get in contact with Ross Allison. I think he's going to be filming, if he hasn't started already, for his second documentary. And they are paranudity for a reason, though. So
We should do that, Paul. We should do that. We did
Shrewsbury.
ramming was good, Paul.
But we did the Shrewsbury prison. We did that, didn't we? Now, what did we do? Shepton Mallet, didn't we?
We did Chapter Mallet. Yeah. That was good. That was good for us. We got a particular piece of information from an energy there, a spirit there that was proved to be gold, didn't it?
Oh, do you know what? I'll never forget the end of it. Yeah. And shut the door.
We were in the morgue. And me and Viv were doing it was just me and Viv in the morgue. And there was a guy came up and he went, "Oh, you got to go now because." And Viv went, yeah, whatever. And anyways, he went, "No, you got to go now." And he's standing there, and with his other guy, and you just go, yeah, bye now, bye. And the door was closing. It was like he was a Jehovah's Witness. Yeah, bye, yeah.
Shut the door on him.
We thought, bollocks to him, we're going to stay here for another 10 minutes. I'm going to stay there another 20. We were that annoyed with him. We're like, no, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Thank you very much.
He said, "Oh, it's time for the wash-up meeting." What wash-up meeting? He said, "Yeah, it's time for the wash-up meeting. You've got to go now." I went, yeah.
Yeah.
No wash-up meeting.
We've been in the mall 5 minutes. We need more time now. Pay off.
It was funny. Oh, the things me and Dan do, honestly. We spend half our time. We can't investigate because we spend half our time laughing at other people.
I thought I had contact with a spirit in the drop. We were underneath the drop.
Yeah.
Weren't we? With the scaffold we were underneath the drop in the prison. And I'm there communicating. If I was communicating with people, fucking another team upstairs. And then they go, "Will you shut up?" Why don't you shut up? That's
It was funny. Oh, we've had some really, really funny moments. Oh, some of them have been pure gold.
That was badly organised. It was meant to be professional teams. And I'll tell you what,
they weren't professional.
Mess, absolute mess. But we still did our own thing and peeled off and got our own place, didn't we? And did our own bits and bobs quietly, which was good. But yeah, there's a
funny
about places actually.
We've actually been quite lucky, Dan. Some of the stuff that you and I have done that other people haven't done, won't get to do, and I'm sure there's more coming. There is more coming, to be honest. I can't talk about it.
Next year's going to be a real change around. There's a different project in the works as well for next year, which is good. But yeah about that. But yeah, that's it really.
What about you, Eric? Are you excited to come over and join the melee of the madness?
I'm so excited. I've been waiting half of my life basically to come over that way. So
come over anytime you want. You know.
Yeah, of course.
You've always got a place to stay here. I've got the room.
We'd love it.
Rita's not going to know what's hit her, seriously.
I know she's not, because she doesn't know. Well, she knows about it since we've been married, but I've been thinking about this since I was in early 20s about coming over to the UK. So,
yeah.
Be good, Eric. Be good to get you over. Be really good.
I'm also going to, I just had a conversation with a friend of mine tonight, actually. And it looks like March, April time, I will be heading over to Berlin.
Not Berlin.
I am going to Berlin to drink wine. Jawohl.
Berlinski.
And I'm going to Berlin with someone that hates the Germans.
Really?
Who likes the Germans? Quite a few people don't like them. I like the Germans.
Well, she doesn't like Lithuanians either, so that's funny.
Yeah, you wait till I tell her I'm Lithuanian. She's going to get the I'm actually Lithuanian. Is she Russian, isn't she?
Half Russian.
I'm going to say that. Oh, them bloody Russians stole everything from us Lithuanians.
That's what she said about the Germans. I said
Us.
they have good food and good wine and good bit. Yeah, stolen from Russia. She went.
Yeah, and I was going to turn around and say, I'm also German. I'm a German Lithuanian. I'm what they call a lithocrat.
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 Oh dear. But yeah.
I'm going to find everything
Irish.
she likes and I'm going to slag it off. When she goes, I really like this guy, I can't stand that. And if she can't stand it, I go, I love that.
Do you know what? But she'd make a great skeptic, honestly.
That's what you need.
She's got this rational way of thinking. Set aside all the fun and the jokes.
Sarah's got Lithuanian blood.
Oh, yeah. Sarah,
don't tell me Glocker she is.
She doesn't.
But no, she would make, because she tries to look for the rational.
Mm-hmm.
She's always looking for the rational and trying to answer. Because you put a question mark in front of her, she tries to find the answers. You know, she's one of those type of people. Good. And she doesn't, even though she had a ghost. There was a ghost that got into bed with her. Honestly, this is not a joke. She was sleeping with something that would snore next to her that wasn't there. And it wasn't the neighbours.
Mm.
But she says, it could be in my imagination. Maybe I was half asleep. But then it was happening too often. And anyway, yeah, it's quite funny, actually.
I love that when skeptics try and rationalise things to the point where they can't rationalise it, but they still try and rationalise it. She
says, I don't know what it was, but maybe I just call him Casper. She named it Casper. Oh, I'm sleeping with Casper tonight.
You know, Casper.
She tried to put a slant on it that it wasn't really happening, so she tried to make it funny.
Yeah.
And that's what I find quite interesting about that scenario.
I want to visit the hidden bunkers in Jersey. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I want to do too.
I want to go. Yeah, I bet there is, Wayne. A snoring ghost.
Yeah, no, it did. It snored. It woke her up as well. Because I'd see her the next day and she'd be in a state. What's the matter with you? I was up all night. Why? Because Casper was snoring all night.
Marshmallow Man. You wouldn't think ghosts would sleep, would you?
No.
Because I tried to say to her, are you sure it's not the next door neighbour? So she went round to the next door neighbour and it transpires that he was away on holiday, had been in the flat all week.
Wow.
So, and there was nobody underneath. That was an empty flat. So, and there's no one the other side of her. So the snoring, and there was nobody above her. Mm-hmm. So the snoring is like, where is that coming from? You know, she couldn't answer that question.
That's interesting. Is it a new flat, is it, Viv?
Not really, no.
Do. Yeah.
But yeah, the snoring ghost.
They were dead tight.
But it's not the right time of year for it to happen again. So when it happens again, I think Dan and I will be over there. We might have to have a sleepover. See if we can hear the snoring ghost.
It wouldn't be residual, would it, Viv?
I don't know.
It might be.
Might be residual. Hiya, Scott. Yeah.
Actually, I want to get my lips done, actually, that one, because I'm losing that lip.
Yeah.
I need to get my one done. It's too expensive. I'm scared of the pain though, because it would be actually in the lip.
Get your bloody everything done now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Medical wise.
I need to get my hair done. Look at that. It's right in my eyes. I need to get that cut. Every time I cut it myself, it's never straight. It's always like all over the place. And my hairdresser tells me off when I cut my own hair.
Hairdresser?
I got a hairdresser. Actually, she's quite good. Her name is Jolie. Hi, Jolie, if you're watching. Oh dear! I tell you what, some of these ghosts, some of them like they're as funny as fuck. Really, these ghosts, and the way they're showing themselves and representing themselves. Some of them, like people go ghost hunting, it was a very serious thing, but the ghosts try and make it a bit more fun for us. And when you do your analysis and you're getting this stuff that you couldn't fathom, why is it happening like that? I think some of them are having a laugh with us, you know.
Oh, they're taking the piss. You would, wouldn't you? If you are going to wind these idiots up, you know, it's got to be done, isn't it? It's got to be done.
Yeah, ghosts with a sense of humour.
Yeah,
especially her ghost that just goes to her flat just to have a kip, you know, and start snoring.
Well, a ghost kept calling one of my friends a tubby.
A what?
A tubby?
Tubby?
Yeah, kept calling him fat.
tubby.
That's a bit rude, isn't it?
Mm. It was funny too.
I didn't see that one. Sorry, what was that Terry said?
Oh,
sorry, my eyes. Sorry.
It'd be a lot richer.
Especially if you got a ghost that does all the cooking and cleaning, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Put the dish away, pull them out of the cupboard.
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Mm.
Do you know, years ago, I would say, oh, why are all these ghosts white? Why aren't I getting a black man? Or why aren't I getting an Asian?
Mm.
Or why can't I see a Chinese ghost? Why am I seeing all these ghosts are traditionally Caucasian? Why is that? Then I went and investigated a place called something fort. Anyway, I went and did this fort, and I had experiences there and managed to get not a full apparition, it was a half apparition that I got caught on camera. And it was of a man in a military uniform wearing a turban. It was distinct wearing a turban. And I questioned that with the guy at the fort. And I said, look, here's what we got. There's a guy sitting here wearing a turban. I said, it's really strange. I can't explain that. He said, I can. He said, we had some of the Indian Army and some of the Sikhs. They were stationed there and they wore their turbans. And I thought, oh, great. I've got my first Indian ghost caught on camera. And then I kept asking the same question: why is there no Negro or coloured people come back as ghosts? What is it they know that we don't? And then lo and behold, I was at this investigation some years later and I got a full apparition of a Negro guy or a black guy standing there as clear as day, smiling into the camera. And I thought, oh my God.
Mm.
But I've stopped looking for them now. They're not showing themselves. And I think it's really weird. If we don't look into, it's not just the history. We need to look more into the history and understand it wasn't just white people, you know. Investigators are not looking into it in a more logical way than what they should be, I feel. And I try to, but I get washed up with it, you know.
I think what it is because obviously this is a white country, isn't it? And it has been for centuries. And predominantly, you're going to have white spirits here. I mean, if you think about the amount of people that have been, there've been black people here dotted around over the centuries and stuff, but not as many as there've been since the 50s, since the Windrush generation.
Yeah.
So I suppose in time, as the communities now get bigger, we'll start to see different ethnic ghosts or spirits throughout the land or whatever, you know.
Well, you're lucky over here because in a lot of the plantations, you can see the slaves that were.
Yes, I was going to mention that. You got the slave, and you got the Underground Railway in that, which is particularly good, isn't it? All of those little spaces and places that were built to hide runaway slaves or people that were getting sort of emancipated. But yeah, it's interesting.
But we go pre this. I mean,
They were.
the Vikings and the Danes, they dominated everywhere, and then actually some theorists and archaeologists are rewriting American history because Columbus Day shouldn't happen now, because they're now showing that the first people there were Viking.
Yep.
And there's this debate going on at the moment. People are not, they don't, when they go investigating, it's all very well and good looking for, the ghost of this queen, or it's said that the glasses rattle here, and look further, go into it with a bit more behind you, like have people on your team, or look into the history, go back as far as you can. Could this be involved? Could this be part of the haunting? And do you get it? When I say not get it logically, do you get it on your analysis? Is that what you're finding?
What happened?
You went and came back again.
Right.
You're here, there, and everywhere tonight, Eric.
Well, no.
Your storm. Your storm. There's a storm over his house right now.
Yeah.
Storm Eric.
Why can't we have Storm Rita?
There was.
What was there?
Yeah, there was a Winter Storm Rita.
What about a Storm Daniel?
I'm sure there has been. I had to look at all the names, but we name all our storms every year, so.
Too tired to do anything.
They don't ever get to my side of the alphabet. There's never been a Storm Vivian.
No, I don't think so.
Mine would be a windy one.
Mine want to be a wet fart.
Yours will be wet and windy.
Storm Dan. Oh, follow through.
Yeah, I remember
Storm
Storm Ellen, yeah.
Mm.
It's funny, isn't it? Right, it's coming close to the top of the hour.
It's coming close to the hour.
I don't know if young Nicholas is doing a show tonight, because...
Is he on? Is he on?
Well, he goes to a lot of Comic-Cons and conventions.
I know, he's about that, man, doesn't he? He gets here, there, and everywhere, does young Nicholas.
He's a great advocate for para-unity, and...
Oh, there you go. Stop Vivian in 1990, Viv.
Oh, I missed that one then. But, yeah, no, I believe he's cut his hair and sporting a new look.
Yep.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Apparently so.
When you say cut his hair, what, like an inch off the bottom or something? Or proper cut his hair?
Proper cut his hair.
No. I bet he looks like a naughty schoolboy now.
Oh, I took 64 people.
Well, there you go.
I'm not a very nice man. Do you know what? Last night, I went to see a criminologist give her lectures.
Oh, wow.
And the criminologist's name was, I want to call her Mary Kenny, but I don't think it's Mary Kenny. It's something Kenny. And she's been on TV, and she's one of these renowned
We had that Terry. Sorry, Viv.
And she was talking about serial killers.
Ooh.
So she was talking about serial killers and going into the whys and the wherefores, and how they can live next door, and how they, the psyche of a serial killer. And she went into some serial killers. Anyway, she did this. I'm just going to fast forward to the end of the show, and she showed you a film, and she said, "Everybody, I want you to watch this film." And she said, "What I'm going to show you is 3 people walking down this corridor, and one of them could be attacked, or did get attacked. I can't remember what she said. Mm-hmm. But she said, I want you to choose which one that would be." So I watched this. This is me. I watched this film, and I had my daughter-in-law sitting next to me, and we were both very quiet, we were just taking it all in. So I watched number 1, which was a lady, quite a biggish lady. You didn't see her face. You just saw her from behind walking down this corridor. I thought, okay, yep, she's just walking like a normal person, swinging the arms like they do. And then you saw a middle-aged man walking down this corridor. Okay, no problem. And then you saw this younger girl. So she wasn't much younger, but slightly, walking down this corridor. And then she played it a second time. So I'm looking more closely, and I'm thinking the first lady, I wouldn't bother with her. She looks like she could put up a fight. Saw the second guy, no. He's a bit meaty, he'd beat me up. The third one, when she walked out, she's walking with her head down. She's got a slight limp. Yeah, I choose her. If I was going to beat anybody up, it would be her. So that's how I looked at it.
Mm.
So when she does this, she brings the house lights up, put your hands up. Who chose number 1? Who chose number 2? Of course, Tori chose number 2 because she'd fight anyone. She doesn't give a stuff, so she chose the bloke. And then I chose number 3. And I just gave you the reasons why I chose number 3. So number 1, yeah, you're pretty normal, not a problem. Who chose number 2? Yeah, you're normal. And I chose number 3. She said, you're all psychopaths. And there wasn't that many people that chose 3. And I was one that put my hand up for 3. And I said, Tori, she just called me a psychopath. She went, yeah, that'd be about right. I was kind of offended. Like I got psychopath twice that night. And I'm not, honestly. I just tried to use it with logic. That was all. So, yeah, I'm a psycho, apparently.
There you go. Psychopath.
Psychopath? Oh, don't expect me to get on. I couldn't get on a bike. Not now.
Oh, I've been on a fair few bikes over the years.
Oh, I bet you have, Dan. Some of them work in the paranormal or pretend to.
No, funny enough, no. No, because the women in the paranormal know me. They know not to go anywhere near me. It's women that are not unsuspecting.
Dan, some of the people that we've seen over the years. Oh, Eric, wait till you get over in the UK. We'll have to take you on a few public ones.
There's not so many in the paranormal as there are just outright nutters.
But Dan, people that don't wash, people that are clearly quite off their head.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Eric, we won't be investigating the paranormal. We'll be investigating the people investigating the paranormal. That would be.
It's these people are so. One in particular is so off the trolley that you spend all night watching that particular person because it's like I don't believe that person. Do they? Fucking they do think like that. They do think that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I'm friends with this guy. Are you? Friends with the host. Oh, nice.
But then we have other people that we know and love in the paranormal that are completely mad.
Oh yeah,
and can lift nice. when you're having a bad day. You just sit back and watch this person, and you can't help but smile. They bring you back into focus and cheer you up.
And that says she had an electric bike after riding one for years, crashed into bollards and nearly killed herself.
Oh, that is funny. Oh, we know that you're completely mad. We know about that one. But yeah, no, it is funny. Some people. Yes, Terry.
Oh,
honestly,
mate,
Terry.
you know those then, Terry.
Oh, the one that we know, that Dan and I know, actually, she cheered us up so much to the fact that we were talking about her for days afterwards. We were in tears.
I didn't even think of her. She's hilarious, but she's a sweetheart.
She is, yeah.
She's an absolute sweetheart. But there's one that's clearly not the full ticket. That, yeah.
Nothing wrong with positive energy. What about positively mental and off your head and dangerous quiet energy? Nah. Everything's wrong with that.
The only person I'm dangerous to is myself. So
you do what, mate?
I said the only person I'm dangerous to is myself.
That's not a bad thing.
You know why, Dan? Because he's busy making flux capacitors.
I know. His new company's called Go Flux Yourself. Or Get Flux.
Do you know what? Off. You should get someone to digitally print, the casing for a flux capacitor and put your REM pod bit inside of it.
But
you make a lot of money out of that, I'm sure.
Actually, I can do it with lights. That's all a flux capacitor is. With lights.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool. Right.
He's really Emmett Brown.
It is Eric Brown.
So we're back next
Great
Tuesday.
Scott. You got to have a laugh. Yeah, exactly. Terry.
So next Tuesday, because it wasn't picked out of the thing, I think Eric is picking this week.
Let Eric pick it. He's been doing a good job.
Now, listen, this is filled like
because
to the brim.
To the brim. So I'm going to
brim.
have a little dig around. So Eric, you just tell me when to stop.
All right, stop.
Ooh,
I've got one.
That's good.
Eric, this is your fault. This is what we're talking about next Tuesday on the Things Network.
Possession.
9/10 of the law.
Is that what Spirit says?
There's no third one, Terry.
Possession.
So that is going to be a heated discussion next Tuesday.
I think it is.
Very heated.
Yeah, I think it is.
So that's what we are going to be talking about next week on Things Network. So that's next Tuesday.
Jolly good.
At 7:00. So Eric, if you don't mind, will you set up the studio in case I'm late? Because it is the day that I start my new job. A new and I leave a little bit later, but so Eric, if you could do you know what you got to do anyway? So
yeah.
So Tuesday nights, Eric will be taking charge.
Oh, three of us went there.
Yeah,
I think it was just you.
Was it me?
Yeah.
Oh, Storm's moving from your place over here now, Eric. I'm here now.
It's all that editing you're doing.
All that editing.
And just to let you know, guys, we are uploading some previous shows onto the YouTube channel for Simply Spooky. If you can go on there, and if you haven't already, can you like and subscribe the Simply Spooky network? If you look on the feeds, you will see the YouTube link. If you just click on there, you don't have to watch them if you don't like to, but it'd be a great help if you would help us build up our network on YouTube. We also have some very good podcasts on there from previous years. And if you've missed it, the Alaskan Killer Bigfoot one is on there. And if you could like and subscribe to the Alaskan Killer Bigfoot team on not just on Facebook but on YouTube as well, that will help with getting a second series out for those guys too. We also have Striking Midnight Paranormal on YouTube. If you can like and subscribe that,
we'd love that.
We would be very grateful because
we've been uploading stuff recently, so that's
we are trying to push that one out too. So so if you can, if you can like it, get your mum to like it and to subscribe to it, we would be very grateful. Get your auntie, get your kids. They're not if they're too young though, but
Blimey, we'll even take dogs and cats. We don't give as well. Even your goldfish.
Yeah, anyone, just click that button, just like it, and we would appreciate that as well, because it isn't just us. There is a whole plethora of people on there. I am going to be uploading some Dark Mirror radio show to that as well. I do have to go and speak to Mr. Manley and Wayne first. Is there a group page for posting stories, etc.? No, I took the group page down, but I'm going to have a discussion with my guy over there, Mr. Eric, and who knows? Starting next year, we might get that up again.
It would be good to get some stories out there, I must admit.
Yeah, so we can get some stories,
and
some content.
Well. Terry, what's your group called?
I don't know.
Know what your group's called, Terry?
Wasn't it HPI Spooks?
Yeah, I don't know. Is he in a new team now, a new group now, or we'll find out who it is.
Cliff, you can always post stories and things on my page. You'll find me Vivian Powell or Spooky Viv. I have a Facebook page there as well.
Yes.
Shades of Darkness.
There you go. Shades of Darkness. So go and subscribe to them if you could, please. Give them a like. It's young Terry's team. He's a good man, is Terry. And Wayne, what's Wayne's team? Truth Beyond Paranormal.
Truth Beyond Paranormal.
So give Wayne a good, give Wayne some subscribe and send him some love and some likes, please, guys. We'd appreciate that. So Shades of Darkness, Truth
and the
Beyond
Dark
Paranormal.
Mirror.
And the Dark Mirror as well, guys. Definitely the Dark Mirror. Definitely all.
So Eric and I are back on Sunday night, where we will be linking breathing and opening of chakras on the spiritual hour. So that will be this Sunday, which we will get this moving. Oh, and wait. Oh, Spookanori.
Spookanori as well, guys. Wayne Seaton presents Spookanori and Truth Beyond the Paranormal. We would appreciate that. Thank you.
So that's what we're doing, and we might have the lovely Mr. Manley joining us for those exercises and talking
That'd be
about
good.
the chi side of things as well.
Cheese?
Chi, not cheese.
I would definitely be watching
Well, not
cheese.
for cheese, thank you.
Cheese, spiritual cheese. Ugh. That's that dirty smell that you can smell when people die. Ugh. Anyway,
That's one of those things. Wearing a hat, the old Truesy helmet. Yeah.
Get one.
God. Then,
Or was that call it smeg?
No,
So-
it's just a foam cheese head.
Oh, I'd love one of them. The big hats.
I'll have to find some and I'll send you
They're
one.
really cool.
Mhm.
oh my God. Meditating with Wensleydale. Oh my
I
God.
would go to church in the hat.
All right. You go to church in that?
Meditating. What was that? Meditating with Wensleydale.
Yeah. So that's what Eric and I will be doing on Sunday with Mr. Manley. And then Tuesday, we're back with the Things Network talking about possession, as you saw. And then next Wednesday, Dan and I will be back just chatting shit like we do. Eric, you joining us next Wednesday? We'll get you on. We're not gonna sort of worry too much about guests until next year when we'll start properly again.
Yeah, this year it's been a
We
bit
do
of a-
have one guest coming on the 22nd.
Who's that?
We have the man from Tales from the Grave coming on to talk.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice. A very nice man.
He is a very nice man.
Very, very nice
it's an honour when he comes on. So, we'll save ourselves for him, shall we? So we can get
That
very
will be
excited.
Mr. Entwistle himself.
It is Mr. Entwistle, yes.
Simon Entwistle, who's absolutely 100% dyed in the wall, bona fide gentleman.
He is a friend of ours as well. So
He's lovely.
he is lovely. And we love seeing what he's been getting up to.
What's his channel? Because his channel's really good.
Tales from the Grave.
Tales from the Grave, yes. That is brilliant, guys. I'll tell you what, I love it. Because he's very animated. He's an amazing historian and he acts the whole thing out. He's so involved and it means so much to him. He loves the history of it. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Recently, he's been doing stuff at Pendle and Lancaster Prison. So
he does a lot around Pendle. He's a leading authority on Pendle, isn't he? In the Witches.
Yes.
He's lovely man. Lovely man. Could not speak highly enough about him.
Maybe we should go to Pendle and get that thing sorted that we said we were going to do for Things Network next year.
That's a good idea.
Let's do that. We'll get it done.
We'll
get it done.
We'll do
right.
It. Right,
I'm going to go.
I'm going to love you and leave you. Thanks ever so much for being on this evening and visiting us. And sorry about me.